My name is Drusilla.
And I'm Eden.
Eden. So Eden here, I sent her my website link and she looked at it and then she's going to ask me a few questions about what she thought about it. I don't know what she's going to ask me, but yeah, let's see what she has.
Alright, so I was wondering, in New Zealand, how can the poor islands break the cycle of the destitute life? And what will they have to do? Like, how can it truly be accomplished?
That's a very good question. Now, with the whole cycle of the destitute life, we have to understand this all has to do with the matrix of it has to do with the whole matrix system of domination. Now, what happens is, for example, we end the matrix of domination basically means that corresponding systems of inequality are integrated. Okay? So, for example, if they're poor, let me say, if they're poor, the kids are gonna go to poor schools, and most likely if they're poor, they're staying in bad environments, and with bad environments, they get poor. Their healths are poor. Okay. Now, let me say, if you had kids who are going to school and they're sick, they're going to miss school, and when they miss school, it's poor grades. So the whole thing is kind of like a cycle. So everything is kind of integrated or interconnected. So we would say, well, you're asking how can they do this?
How can they break the cycle?
Can they break the cycle? I think it's not as easy as in one day or something like that. What they would do, I would think, would be more of, for example, education is a key factor in breaking such cycles.
Yeah.
Because even government help could help. If government comes in and does different things and helps out in projects, that could also help. Definitely. External assistance, like I've talked about the government, that all those things could help with that. Now, for example, if we look at, let me say, the government comes in, helps them with, let me say, better. Let's assume better housing is provided, for example, in those areas where they stay. So now they're having a better housing, so most likely their health won't be affected as much as before.
Okay.
So with that good housing, hopefully they're having good schools with time. The kids are able to go to school without any inconvenience. They get good grades. They achieve higher education. Okay. The parent, even if the parents are getting little money in, but with time, if that can be done, the kids get education. They'll get high jobs. They get good jobs, and then they get something for their families, or they give back to their families. At least that one family can move up the ladder with time. It's a process. It's not just a one day thing.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. All right. So my next question is, do most islanders dance? In your website, you talked about how a lot of people, like from America or different countries, will just assume like everybody from the island dances, and so with those who don't, it kind of hurts them, or they feel like they have to do something that they may not be good at. So I was just wondering, is it like a huge part of their culture? Is it just something that like we believe they do, and maybe it's just a couple people who have done it, or it was big a long time ago and it's not as big now? Like, so my question, I guess, is that tradition of island dancing still very big?
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's a good one. I would say they definitely do dance, but let me ask you this: when you hear somebody's from Hawaii, let me say, what do you think of?
Hula dancing.
You think of hula dancing. So all that is under stereotyping,
right? And
we also have to understand it's not just Polynesians who are from the Pacific Islands. We have Asians. Okay? We have all those different. We have Asians. We have the Melanesia. Now Melanesia are actually like my complexion, and they have blonde hair. It's like, so it's interesting. I think there were some pictures over there. So it's a number of people who are there. Okay. Do they all dance? No. Right. But then, for some reason, actually, I also understand what you're saying. It's more of stereotyping of what people think of what comes to people's minds, and maybe what they've seen or had. I myself, the first time I struggled with this whole thing because I was certain Pacific Islanders are Polynesians. That is all I thought about them. Okay. Then I realized there were all these different people from different islands, Fiji, different islands. They're somehow similar with their cultures, but again, they're different. Yes, they do dance, but that's not all they do, and not everybody dances.
Yeah.
And even if they did, for example, you'd think of the hula dance, like you said. No, Asians have a different, graceful kind of dancing.
Yeah.
From the Polynesians, so they're quite different. They're quite different.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Okay, so back to the cycle of poor, like undereducated people. How long do you think it will take for that cycle to be broken completely? Like, maybe not so that they're at the highest point, like rich or anything, but just how long do you think the cycle will have to take of breaking? That was a really bad way of asking. How long till they get out of poverty? Like, so they don't have to be rich, but how long do you think it will take them to get out of poverty?
Okay. I think that will go back to, again, the matrix of Demi, that will go back to the matrix of can I forget this word? Domination. To go back to that, like I explained to you how everything is interrelated, like I talked to you before.
Yeah.
I can't exactly say it's gonna be 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. No, I can't exactly say that. I think it's definitely a process, and it's going to be either according to a certain group, or maybe a family.
Okay.
But it won't all just vanish at once, and it's a process. For example, let's look at it this way: if we look at the Polynesians in New Zealand, they're one of statistically they're one of they are and the minority, and the conditions are way below compared to the rest. Now, how will they break this? First of all, they realize that they have a really low education. The percentage is really low for children who actually go to school. Mm-hmm. And what has the government of Australia done and New Zealand? What they're doing, they've come together and they've put up funds. They're going to build schools to ensure that these children go to school for free. Mm-hmm. Now, remember, these parents are already poor, okay? Now, at least if their children go to school for free, they're saving something. They go to school, hopefully they get a higher education, they get good jobs. That could be it for that family. That could be the breakthrough for that family. How long is it gonna take? I don't know. It could take until maybe the child graduates. It could take maybe a few years. It could take generations. Okay. These cycles these cycles have been there for a while. It has been there for a while, and the dominant groups usually make sure that the minority always stay down. Yeah. But again, they can help them for different socio-economical factors that it happens. But again, they can help them come up the ladder. Yeah. So like I talked about government helping them climb up the ladder would help. But again, they won't be as high as the dominant ones. They'll be at a stage whereby they find that they are okay with things and they're having an okay life, but still the dominant ones will be at a higher stage whereby the minority is satisfied with where they're at, because at least it's now a better way of living than what they had before. Yeah. But it might not be exactly as that. How long it's gonna take? That's a tricky question. It could be according to family, or according to a group. I don't know how long it's gonna take. But again, it comes back to. But again, it can be done. It can be done, and I think it comes back to individuals still. The courage within you to say, I'm gonna do this and I can do this. It starts with you, like we all said. And then maybe you help your family and then maybe your family members, because now they're better off. They hope their excellent relatives, and it's a cycle, and it's a process, step by step.
Right. All right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Is it making sense to you, or am I confused?
Yeah, no, that's a really good way of saying it, not stereotyping everybody in one situation. Okay, so the last question I have for you is, why do you think the percentage of girls smoking is higher than the percentage of guys in islands, Pacific Islands.
That was actually the percentage of 16% of girls smoked more than the 12% of the boys.
Right.
Now that was actually just a statistic that was from the New Zealand Health Report,
right,
about what goes on. But I think this could be maybe this could mainly probably be peer pressure, according to what I think. But it was just a statistic. But these were mainly they were looking at the Polynesian girls.
okay,
Yeah. Now wait, let's look at it this way. Those are the smoking is all under bad behavior, okay?
Right.
Unacceptable behavior. That's why we would put it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they're not going to school. Okay, let's say they're not going to school. They have no money. They have no family because they all live in New Zealand. Most of them, or Australia, they actually leave their country. Usually, they leave the islands. Think it's gonna be a better life for them there. When they reach there, they don't have money. They don't have jobs. They don't have family. What happens? What's the closest they have to a family? It's a gang. So when they come into those contacts, usually I think that's how they get all those poor behaviors, bad behaviors. But that percentage being higher, I think definitely all those economic or social factors contribute to your welfare, how are you living, who are you with, where do you fall, what things what is in your nearest reach, all those things affect how a person behaves. And
Okay.
so I think that was just a statistic. It wasn't really those factors that I mentioned before could contribute, but it was basically a statistic to win. Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, not right now. But thank you so much for telling me and answering those questions.
Okay. Was the website pretty okay? Did you learn more about the other things that
Yeah, definitely. Your website was very informative, so I liked it. Thank you.
What did you learn the most? What did you like the most about it?
Well, I guess it just probably surprised me the most about how much poverty is in Pacific Islands and things like that. Because really, I didn't know anything about Pacific Islands, so I learned pretty much everything. Yeah.
Okay. But in America, I think they're doing pretty well. Yeah. Most of the matrix of domination and how it affects most Pacific Islanders, the gravity of it is mostly in Australia and New Zealand. That's why you see the really big range and all that.
Oh, okay.
But in America, I think they're doing they're not the minority exactly. They're a minority, but they're not doing as bad compared to those ones.
Yeah.
Compared to New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was good working with you. Thank you.
Yeah.